Hey people, I hope you're all having a beautiful Friday and good start to your weekend. So our habit 5 of the 10 habits of Ayurveda and yoga that we're talking about in this series is all around like eating in sync with your ecosystem. And I feel that this is a really kind of timely topic with everything that's going on in the world where, travel is really restricted. And maybe even sort of produce being flown around the world is, I'm guessing, probably a lot reduced. And it's actually, this is a really good thing. Like our bodies, our digestion, it likes simplicity. It doesn't like complexity. And I know for one that previously I've definitely fallen trap to eating from all over the world in a single day. I might have food from like Europe and Asia and like Australia and just all these different styles of different grains and different vegetables and different fruits. And as much as it might kind of be exotic and it might be kind of exciting, it actually really challenges our digestive system. So really what Ayurveda looks at is getting you to get really clear on what is in your local environment and really getting clear on that from season to season as well. So it's really getting us to look at like what is in season, what is growing on our doorstep, and even starting to look at like what are some of the wild things that are growing, like the invasive weeds. Like there's one of my teachers is getting really big on like what is growing through the cracks of the concrete, like what's growing in your back garden that you actually assume is a weed but can actually be eaten. And the weeds are really like superfoods. So perhaps if you've got a bit of time this weekend, like having a little bit of a kind of a research, a Google as to like where you're currently residing, like what are the local invasive weeds that are natural to the environment that you're in, and seeing if you can start to incorporate them in drinks, in smoothies, in salads, whatever it is that you eat. And like I say, it really helps with the digestion. So another thing that I do as well is I tend to have the same thing for lunch and dinner. And again, it may not sound super exciting. Like I definitely didn't used to eat like that. I used to have like so much diversity in my diet. And now I can really look back and I can see how, my digestion was a little bit compromised then. And now it's so much more easeful. So, I have somebody, which is super fortunate, who prepares meals for me in my home here in Bali. But she will cook the same thing for lunch and for dinner because I don't want her making like different dishes all day. And it's the same if you're preparing your own food. Like it's a lot of work to be preparing different food all the time. So I have the same thing for lunch, the same thing for dinner, and my digestion enjoys it. Like it's easeful, it's simple. I, eat really like locally. I eat super seasonally. We can't always get the exotic things here in Bali. So really just having a ponder on this, like really starting to look at like what's in season. I think a lot of people are really getting quite aware of what's in season, but starting to look at like some of the things that you perhaps wouldn't look at, like say the invasive weeds that are growing perhaps, in the grassland across from you, or the meadows, or just even in your garden. And that will really help to, especially if you have a compromised digestion, it will really help you to create less stress on your digestion, more ease. And and our digestion is responsible for everything. So any kind of chronic illnesses can often be related to really challenging digestion, because that's where a lot of our immunity is. So have a go, see what you discover, and we will be back next week with the next 5 topics. Have a beautiful weekend.